Welcome back, everybody, to the New York Knicks, MyNBA franchise here on NBA 2K23. We're a little bit over halfway through season number 1. We're getting pretty close to the trade deadline with a record of 22-26, which is good enough for the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference. We've really got to figure out with this team if we want to sell at the deadline or if we want to buy and try to make a play-in spot. In the last episode, we made our first trade of the season, sending away Derrick Rose to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota's looking for some more pieces to help them contend, and Rose has played very well since the trade. I think we got a really good haul of players as well, headlined by former first-rounder Wendell Moore, who has gotten big minutes right away in the rotation, and we've actually been using him as a starter these past few games, and I think he's done a really good job, and I'm very excited about him as a long-term role player for the future. We also acquired Josh Minott in that deal. He's a young second-round rookie with really good athleticism and upside. And along with the two of them, we got a future lottery-protected first-round pick in 2024. The Timberwolves probably won't be a lottery team, but if they are, it will convey into 2 future second-round picks rather than a first-round pick in the future. So I think with the Derrick Rose, Wendell Moore trade, the team is in a pretty good spot. We've been playing good basketball over the month of January, despite being without RJ Barrett for quite a bit. Today we'll be doing our second prospect profile of the season. In the first prospect profile we went over some of the top prospects in the draft. Today we're going to be going over some of the mid to late first round guys, players who could fall in our range of the draft if we make a play-in spot, or God forbid make the playoffs. So some guys who have actually entered the top 10, or specifically the back end of the top 10 to look out for, include Splash Mayo, the blue ponytailed sharpshooter out of Duke, whose stock has really improved this season. He lives off his name because he spaces the floor better than just about anybody in this year's draft class, but he is not just a shooter. He can play make, he's an above average defender, I would say, and he's got pretty good athleticism. With his phenomenal three-point jump shot and his ability to drive to the basket, I think he has a very high floor and is going to be a really good pro. Jason Calypso, the young point guard out of Auburn, is a really interesting player. He has really done a good job of facilitating the Auburn offense this year. He's done a great job as a scorer and as a playmaker. I am a little bit worried that he's too ball dominant. Kind of reminds me of another former Auburn point guard a couple years ago, Sharife Cooper, who averaged a bunch of points and a bunch of assists his freshman season, but he fell in the draft because he had no off-ball ability, and sure enough, he has done nothing in the NBA. I think Calypso's a much more efficient player than Sharife Cooper, but I think some of the concerns there are similar. Believe it or not, there's another player in this class with blue hair. Alonso Corbett out of Ohio State is a deadly lefty scorer. Him and Trey Bell, who we talked about in the first prospect profile, have formed a really good tandem for Ohio State, and because of that, the Buckeyes have been one of the best teams in the Big Ten this season. Corbett is a combo guard, and although he's not the facilitator that a guy like Jason Calypso is, I think he has much more off-ball ability to go along with his ability on the ball. Somebody who can control the flow of the offense, but also get open off of screens and whatnot. A player like that is really valuable, and I think Corbett's going to be a good pro. Freddie Prince Jr. out of Kentucky is a very intriguing point guard. He hasn't been the most consistent this season, but the flashes with him have been really exciting, and because of that, he is starting to gain some traction as a potential late lottery selection. I'm not sure if he will end up being a lottery pick when it's all said and done. I think his stock is this high just because he's had a few really good games in a row, and I think it'll come back down to earth. He's not a great defender, he's not the smartest player, but he does have a lot of ability on the offensive end of the floor. Woozy Bailey out of Duke is a very interesting forward. Duke is by far the most talented team in the country. They had a guy who we talked about in the last episode. They have 2 additional players we're going to talk about today with Woozy Bailey, who I think is going to be a good 3-and-D wing in the NBA. His three-point shot needs a little bit of work, but he has good form. He's a good playmaker, good defender. I think he's going to be a really good pro when it's all said and done. Jackson Watkins is a talented combo guard from the University of Oregon. He's about 6'6", and I think he has a really good ability to carry an offense. And again, on the ball and off the ball, he can make plays, which is why I think he's going to be a pretty successful player in the NBA. This is somebody who has a pretty good form to his shot. Not the most consistent shooter, but I think if he can improve his three-point shooting a little bit, he's going to be very good. Really good defender. That's probably his best attribute, along with good playmaking and good IQ. If he can just be more consistent as a scorer, I'm confident he's going to be a good player. Probably my favorite storyline in this entire draft class is Buzz Wigginton III. We all know his dad, Buzz Wigginton Jr., who was the #1 overall pick by the Seattle Sonics out of the University of Michigan in our Seattle Sonics MyNBA franchise last year. Buzz Wigginton Jr. was a 6'11" unicorn type of power forward who could stretch the floor, handle the ball, play make, and was of course an unbelievable defensive player. Buzz Wigginton Jr. won, I think, 7 or 8 NBA MVPs, along with 17 championships. What's he up to now? He's the general manager of the New York Knicks. If you don't remember in the first episode, we touched upon that. So obviously the family tie is there. I imagine Buzz Jr. is going to want to draft his son. And the interesting part about Buzz Wigginton III is he plays nothing like his dad. He did not get hit by the genetic lottery. He is a 6'4" point guard. Instead of going to Michigan, he decided to play for Duke. So different position, different college, different jersey number to his dad. I think he's a better offensive player than Buzz Jr. was coming out of Michigan. He's a better shooter. He's a better passer. Obviously doesn't have the athleticism, length, or defense. But I think he's going to be a good player. So now we get to this next tier of players. Of the 15 to 20 guys, I think Asriel Aikenson from USC might be the most intriguing. He's a 6'7" point guard with great size and length. Not the most consistent player, but you look at somebody who can guard the 1 through the 4 as somebody who has super long arms and really good defense. He needs to be a little bit more consistent. He needs to be a better ball handler. He's not great at driving to the basket, but he does have good touch as a shooter. He's an okay playmaker. But again, it's his defense that is really going to intrigue teams right off the bat with his athleticism and his basketball IQ. Another player I really like is Enzo Valentino from Italia. There are quite a few good Italian players in this draft class. We talked about the point guard Cesar DiCarlo in the last episode, who's probably going to be the 2nd overall pick. I think Enzo Valentino here has a chance to be a lottery selection. He's currently projected to go in the 20s, but I think he's a lot better than the 21st best player in the class. Not a great three-point shooter, but he's another guy who has good shot form, and I think he will be a good three-point shooter with time. Good playmaker for his size, good defender. He's the type of wing who I really like to draft. I see some similarities to Chance Dumas from the Sonic series last year. And then as we go down here through the late first round, we're going to cover some of these players in the next prospect profile. So if one of your players is here in the 20s and we didn't talk about him today, we'll probably talk about him in the next episode. But there are a couple I do want to highlight now, including Bryson Potts out of Memphis. Potts is a really intriguing player. At the beginning of the season, he wasn't really on anybody's draft radar, but he's had a great season for the Tigers and has probably been the best player in all of the American Athletic Conference through the first half of the college basketball season. Not an overly consistent three-point shooter, but he's a good playmaker. He's a solid enough defender, and he's a good athlete along with pretty good basketball IQ. Milton Surratt from Gonzaga is a very interesting player. He's nicknamed the Red Rifle because he's got this super cool red curly afro. And oh yeah, he can hit the three like it's nobody's business. One of the best shooters in the class despite being a 6'8" forward. The rest of his game needs a lot of work. He's not a great playmaker. He doesn't have a lot of positional versatility. But his shooting is certainly a very redeeming quality. The last player we're going to talk about today is Ahmed Cabango. He is from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but since he has French citizenship, he is allowed to play for the French national team, which is where we got his film off of here today. He's more of a traditional low-post center, but we have seen flashes of him as a ball handler, as a shooter, although he's got a long ways to go as a jump shooter. He's a little bit undersized for center. He's only around 6'10", but he's built like a rock. Kind of reminds me of Isaiah Stewart from the Detroit Pistons in the sense that he's not the biggest in height, but he plays big, he plays tough, and he's got a working, improving jump shot. So there you go. Let me know which prospect you guys really like down below in the comments. We're going to play this game here against the Miami Heat. They have a really interesting team, and like us, they are fighting for a play-in spot. We got some trade offers, including one for Lonnie Walker, who ironically got traded right after we were offered him. RJ Barrett is back from his injury. That's good news. I've decided to keep Wendell Moore in the starting lineup for now. I just want to see how him and RJ Barrett can work together. Cam Reddish is being offered here for 2 picks from the Suns. I don't know if the Suns are trying to manipulate us because one of them is a lottery protected pick and the other is for protection backup. So either we're only getting 1 pick there or we're getting both of them and the Suns are protecting it for no reason. I don't know. So RJ Barrett is hurt again. He pulled his right bicep, which again is not serious. We're not going to play him through it. But this is getting a little bit ridiculous. He's suffered 3 separate injuries since Christmas, and it's only showing them 2 of them here, but he's gotten hurt 3 times. So when are we going to get a little bit concerned about his durability? We would get some more trade offers, and I like that we're getting offers, but none of them are good, so we ended up declining them all. We did go 3-1 in the 4 games we simulated, including a 39-point win at the Garden against the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron usually really enjoys playing at the Garden, and he didn't get to last year after sucker punching Isaiah Stewart in the face in the middle of the game. So let's hop into this one here against the Heat, who are obviously a great team. The Heat are one of the most well-run organizations in the league, but they haven't had a very good season this year, and their record's actually 1 game behind ours. So because of that, both us and the Heat are probably going to be competing for the same play-in spot. So we kind of need to beat the Heat just so we can get that little upper edge against them. Still no RJ Barrett, so again, it'll be Emmanuel quickly at the 2 and Wendell Moore at the 3. Hopefully RJ can get healthy because I am a little bit concerned about his durability at the moment, considering he's gotten hurt 3 times in the last month. The tip-off goes to Bam Adebayo and the Heat, and we are underway as Kyle Lowry looks to lob it up for Bam. He's unsuccessful, but Bam gets it back. Good ball movement here by the Heat as Adebayo throws it down, assisted by Kyle Lowry. 2-2 ball game now. Here's Adebayo with a nice move inside. No good. Grabs the rebound, gets the putback, and Bam is on the board with the Heat's first 4 points of the day. Now 6-2. The Knicks don't have a field goal yet. Their only points are off of a couple of 3 throws, and they finally get a field goal to fall there. The layup is good from Jalen Brunson. 6-4 now your score. Here's Tyler Hero with a beautiful behind-the-back pass for Kyle Lowry. Gets the screen from Adebayo, and Kyle Lowry, the thickest player in the NBA, hits the 3, making it 9-4. Here's Jalen Brunson looking to get the crossover over to Julius Randle, who's going to let it fly from beyond the arc. The Knicks hit their first 3 of the day, courteous of Julius Randle, who has 5 early points. Wendell Moore looking to drive to the basket. Nice move as he gets the layup. It's been really good seeing him play such great basketball since being acquired from the Timberwolves. Nifty step back by Julius Randle. He's got 7. Randle 2 for 2 from the field so far today, also with a pair of 3 throws as the lob is unsuccessful. Picked up by Toppin, who nearly turns it over. Then Obi Toppin just stands there for whatever reason. He's lucky the Knicks got the ball back. Fournier sends it over to Toppin, who has the size mismatch, backing down on the smaller defender, and gets the bucket. That's a weird sequence of events, but hey, it'll do the job as it's now tied at 17. Oladipo over to the veteran big man, Dwayne Dedmon, who throws it down. Obi Toppin just can't really defend centers, which is a problem because he doesn't really have the quickness to defend on the perimeter. He can shoot from the perimeter, though, as he hits the top of the key 3. 21-20 now your score. Heat still on top. Hero tightly guarded by Grimes. Hoping somebody can get open off the screen. It's Max Strus who hits the 3. Strus is one of the Heat's most recent developmental projects who have turned into a really good player as Reddish blocks Oladipo here late in the quarter. Toppin heaves it up from half court. No good. Pretty competitive start. Miami leads 24-22. Pretty slow start for the offense. Hopefully they can pick it up here in the second quarter. Heat start with the ball. Strus goes inside for Jimmy Butler, who throws it down. Butler's got a good ability inside. He can shoot the ball at a decent level as it's 26-22. Back out to Butler, the star of this Heat team. He gets Brunson leaning. Nifty move by Jimmy Buckets, and it's now 28-22. Isaiah Hartenstein has the size mismatch with Caleb Martin on him and takes advantage, taking it to the cup for an and 1. The Knicks have 2 centers in the game with Robinson and Hartenstein, so they're taking advantage. Now Martin is on Mitchell Robinson, so he goes to the basket, makes the layup. If the Heat are going to keep having these size mismatches without playing any help defense, the Knicks are going to take advantage. Robinson does it again with Caleb Martin, and it's now 32-29. Following Miami possession, Lowry off the screen. Tough 3 is good. So even though the Heat are kind of playing unsmart defense, it isn't making any changes to the lead. Here we go again. Mitchell Robinson with the size mismatch, takes advantage. Got to give Mitchell Robinson credit, recognizing what he knows he has to do and scoring quite efficiently in doing so. 35-31, Butler blows by Wendell Moore and throws it down with the slam. 37-33 now. Butler gets the screen from Adebayo. Inside, Butler with a nice move at the basket. He makes the layup, and it is a 6-point game. So here we go again. Martin on Robinson. This time Robinson misses the shot. Good help defense by Adebayo. On the other end, Caleb Martin inside for Bam, who throws it down, and the Heat lead this one by 8. A number of former Kentucky players on the floor. Adebayo, Hero, Emmanuel Quickley, who passes it over to another former Kentucky Wildcat, Julius Randle. Nearly half of the players in the game right now have played for Kentucky. Wild. Here is Oladipo, trapped by Randle, over to Hero, heaves up the three, and it is good. Tyler Hero connects from beyond the arc. 46-37, here's Quickley over to Reddish, back to Quickley, over to Obi Toppin, who hits another one. All of the Knicks' big men, Randle, Toppin, and Robinson, and Hartenstein have been good today, whereas all the guards and wings haven't been good. It's kind of weird. Hero with the screen from Yurtseven, lets it fly again. Another triple for Tyler Hero as it's an 8-point game. Here's Emmanuel Quickley inside, gets it over to Grimes. Grimes in the corner for Killer Cam Reddish. He hits the triple. Reddish with 5. 50-47 here with about 20 seconds left in the first half. Victor Oladipo trying to get open off the screen from Yurtseven, who does a good job of going inside and making the layup. Over Yurtseven is the Miami Heat's newest player, who comes out of nowhere and develops really well. Part of that Heat culture. They develop guys so well. Quickly misses the shot at the end of the second quarter. 52-47, Heat have the lead. So the Heat feel like they have control here through the first half, but the deficit's never been more than 9 points. Certainly a doable deficit now at 5 points as we look at the projected three-point contest candidates. One of these guys is not like the other. Interesting. All right, let's go to the third quarter. Let's see if the Knicks can make a comeback, look to possibly take the lead and win this ball game as Brunson off the screen hits the contested three. He got a late release on that shot. I'm surprised it went in. 54-50. Here's Wendell Moore. Quiet first half of only 2 points. Look to drive inside, pass Butler, and floats in the layup. Jimmy Butler is obviously a great defender. There's only so much Wendell Moore can do, but he has been pretty quiet today. 54-52. Maybe the weirdest lob I've ever seen, but it works. Hero connects with Jimmy Buckets. 58-54 now. Brunson calls for the screen. It's Julius Randle. Lets it fly. Randle with 16 points. He still has not missed a shot. 6 for 6 from the field. 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Great backdoor cut by Wendell Moore. Moore's got such good off-ball awareness for a rookie. And obviously Julius Randle's a great passer. He's able to find the passing lane and make the play. The shot is blocked. Here comes the Knicks on the fast break. Brunson is intercepted by Adebayo, so the block turns out to be for naught. Adebayo blows right by Evan Fournier and makes the layup, putting the Heat back on top. Now the Knicks are back ahead, 60-61. Lowry, guarded by Moore inside, gets it over to Jimmy Butler. Butler is the size mismatch, takes advantage, just elbows Brunson and throws it down. 62-61, look at Lowry as Adebayo blocks Brunson. But can we look at Kyle Lowry again? He was spinning like a Beyblade on that play. That was funny. 64-61 now. Here's Fournier for 3. No good. But Hartenstein is there for the rebound. He gets the putback. And the Knicks bring it within 1. Still a very close game. Shot no good by Oladipo. Rebounded by Yurtseven, who is denied at the rim by Isaiah Hartenstein. Knicks on the fast break looking for the lead. Toppin back inside for Isaiah Hartenstein, who makes the layup. 64-67, New York leads by 3. Here's Oladipo inside, gets the layup and draws the foul. It's an and 1. Quentin Grimes called for the foul. Good play by Oladipo, the 10-year veteran out of Indiana. Hartenstein sets a screen for Cam Reddish. He's in the double figures with 10. Reddish has obviously been quite inconsistent on offense this year, but today he's shooting the ball pretty well. Yurtseven inside for Jimmy Butler. Butler has scored pretty much exclusively from the paint, and he's done a really good job in doing so. 68-70. Here's Oladipo inside for the tie. Oh, he passes it out for Yurtseven, who throws it down, and that dunk goes for the tie. 70-70 with 50 seconds left in the quarter. Hartenstein sets a screen. Here's Cam Reddish again. Reddish hits another three. He's red hot from beyond the arc. He looks like he wants a nice payday in the offseason. 70-73. Here's Oladipo. Fadeaway three for the tie is good. Both teams are shooting the three ball well. It feels like in every game that I've played this season, the opposing team cannot miss from three in the third quarter. I don't know why. Quickly goes to the basket for the lead. No good. Pretty solid quarter for the Knicks. They make up some ground and tie the game. We'll see if they can finish it off once and for all here in the fourth. Hero is tipped and stolen away by Wendell Moore. On the other end, Reddish with the contested layup. He's got 15, one of the highest marks on the team. 73-75. Here's Adebayo. Inside, guarded by Robinson, over to Tyler Hero. Hero back to Adebayo, who throws it down, and we are tied up at 75. Wendell Moore with the screen for Robinson. Moore for three, no good. Mitchell Robinson's there for the rebound and gets the putback. I've been impressed with Mitchell Robinson tonight. I think he's had a really good performance so far. 75-77. Adebayo gets it over to Martin for three and the lead. Miami on top for the first time here in the fourth quarter. 78-79, Knicks back on top. Here's Wendell Moore, finds the opening inside and throws it down. Moore now in the double figures with 10. 78-81, quickly gets it back out to Wendell Moore. Moore this time on the right side. He's got 10 points in the second half, 12 overall. Wendell Moore is having another very quality game here in his rookie season for New York. 78-83, Adebayo with the slam, making it a one-score game. I know the Knicks have the momentum, but the Heat are certainly still right in this game. Here's Bam Adebayo, gets it over to Kyle Lowry. Lowry lobs it up for Bam, and the Heat cut the lead to 1. 82-83, here's Wendell Moore. Fadeaway mid-ranger is good. Wendell Moore is 7 for 7 from inside the arc. 0 for 3 from beyond it, but he has not missed his two-point shot. Adebayo blocked inside by Robinson. Gets it back over to Martin. Martin back to Bam, who's blocked again. Mitchell Robinson cannot be stopped in this game. He has been so impressive. Off the following inbound, Hero inside, gets the floater and draws the foul. It's an and one. And with 3:46 to go, the Heat tie it up, but it won't be tied for long. The Knicks are back on top, 85-87. Butler inside for the dunk. We're tied up again. Get your popcorn, folks. It looks like this ending's going to be a fun one. Wendell Moore off the screen, over to Fournier in the corner. What a pass by Moore, and Fournier hits the three. His first points all night. He has not had a good game, but he does make the shot there. Moore back to Fournier, over to Julius Randle for three. Bang! Randle with 21, and the Knicks up now by 4 with about 2 minutes to go. Brunson gets the screen for Robinson. The Knicks go with the pick and roll, and it works as Mitchell Robinson has 16 points on 8 of 9 shooting. He has been so efficient on offense and so dominant on defense with 7 blocks. 89-95, Butler does a good job working down low on Wendell Moore, bringing it to a 4-point game. Following Miami possession, nobody inside to play help defense, so Butler takes advantage, and the Heat quickly make it a 2-point game. 93-95, Brunson with the basketball, gets the screen. Brunson inside for Randle, who throws it down, and with a minute and a half to go, the Knicks are back up by 4. Now under a minute, same score. Here's Fournier inside, gets it to fall in, and the Knicks lead by 6 with 52.7 seconds to go as the Heat call their second to last timeout. The Knicks also only have 1 timeout left here in regulation. Adebayo inside makes the layup, 4-point game. It looks like the Heat are going to immediately start fouling. After a foul, the Knicks would have to inbound it. Jalen Brunson would shortly be fouled again. I don't know why the Heat wasted about 5 seconds. So Jalen Brunson will go to the line for 2. Nothing but net on the first one. And the second one would be just as sweet as the first. Brunson goes 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. And the Knicks lead by 6 with under 30 to go. Lowry inside for Butler, who finds Bam, who gets the dunk. Back to a 4-point game with around 25 seconds to go. Wendell Moore would go to the line. He would make 1 of 2, so it's a 5-point game. Butler inside gets the layup, so the Heat are only down by 1 score. Knicks got to execute the inbound well, which they do. Jalen Brunson is fouled by Kyle Lowry. He would make both once again. So now the Heat are desperate as Butler heaves up the 3. No good. Rebounded by Julius Randle, who's going to dribble out the clock, and the Knicks survive. They take it home 104-99 against the Miami Heat, and the New York Knicks are now only one game under 500. This is a big win for New York because, again, the Miami Heat are right in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference play-in race, just like the New York Knicks. So any win against a team like the Heat is going to be very, very valuable. Good performance here by the fellas, particularly in the front court. Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson, I thought, were the two best players for the Knicks tonight. Randle was very efficient offensively with 23 points on 9 of 11 shooting, 3 for 4 from deep. Mitchell Robinson was a beast. 16, 8, 7 blocks on 8 of 9 shooting. I've been critical at times of Mitchell Robinson this year, and I think he played great today. Wendell Moore and Reddish with 15. Brunson also in double figures. For Miami, Jimmy Butler was Jimmy Butler. He had 30. Bam was good. Hero was good, and that's about it. The rest of the role players who usually perform well for the Heat did not perform that well. So we're going to simulate another week here going into the trade deadline. We're currently 26-27. We have made it to the All-Star draft, by the way. Giannis and Luka are team captain, so we're going to simulate through the draft. And as you can see, Austin Rivers is here. He's averaging 71 points per game. Okay, what is happening? So obviously 2K is glitched. There are not 127 games in the season. There's no way he has 9,000 points and 0 turnovers. He's actually only played 1 minute all season. So I don't know how that's happened. Also, why does it say he's a 2-time All-Star? He's definitely never made an All-Star team before, nor has he ever been close. Other than that, nothing too surprising. No Knicks in there, which isn't a surprise. I don't really think we deserve one. RJ Barrett is back from his injury now as the team went 1-2, but we're now the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The 8th seed and the 9th seed, there's a big difference there. If you're the 8th seed, you technically only have to win 1 play-in game, whereas the 9th seed has to win 2. So if we can grab that 8th seed, then we've got a really good inside shot at the postseason. So before we wrap up today's episode, I do want to talk about the sliders because I have gotten a lot of questions about them. I know people want to see them. So I play on All-Star difficulty. The reason why I don't play on Hall of Fame is I would lose by like 50. So yeah, I play on 9-minute quarters. As for the sliders, pretty much everything is at the base for All-Stars difficulty except for shooting. The CPU shooting sliders are boosted up a bit. The user sliders are boosted up a little bit as well for shooting, but not as much as the CPU ones. They're a little bit different than my NBA 2K22 sliders because shooting's a little bit harder this year for both the user and the CPU. Although I think both the user and the CPU sliders are lower this year for shooting. I think shooting overall is a lot better. Like last year, I had the CPU, most of their shooting sliders in like the 80s and 90s. This year, I only have to have them in the 60s, and I get the same scores that I did last year on NBA 2K22, but I feel like it's a little bit more realistic, and I think the gameplay overall is a little bit better this year. That's going to wrap up the episode. I hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Next episode is for trade deadline. What do you think the Knicks should do at the deadline? Should we look to buy? Should we look to sell? Should we look to do a little bit of both? We're also going to get up to the All-Star break in the next episode as well. We're probably not going to have many of our players in the All-Star festivities, so we'll probably breeze through that pretty quickly as we get towards the end of the regular season here in year number 1. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace out.